Hi ho, it's off to work we go in Transport Fever City. Thanks for joining me again. You will recall from last time that we'd set up a route between the oil well up here down to the oil refinery down here. And I had suggested that we would actually bring oil down to this area, which makes plastics when combined with corn. Now, given the distances we've got to cover, we've got to get the oil down to there, and we've got to get grain from this farm across to here. I thought it'd be more efficient if we did something about Buckingham. Now, Buckingham, as you see, needs fuel in the industrial area. That creates more jobs. So I think what we need to do is to get fuel from the oil refinery down here into Buckingham. And the most efficient way of doing it is to put a rail line in. Let's have a look at the area that we need to get the oil into, or the fuel into. Is the industrial area here. I need to borrow money to start with, and I'm going to borrow quite a chunk because at some point I need to get another engine and vehicles, but I've also got to lay more track. First thing to do is to get into the track. Now I'm going to lay 2 track, and I'm going to put in a goods terminal, not a passenger terminal, here. And if I turn this, we can see the area going grey, which is the area that will be serviced by the incoming goods. Now, we can't get all of the industrial. I can get a fair amount, but sadly, you won't get all of it. We'll get as much as we can, though, by putting the station in. I can't go too close to that road, but if I go up here, we are getting a fair chunk in. So I'm going to drop that into there. I'll just try and get up a little bit to get that top one lit up, which it is. I'm going to put it in there. So it's very tight on that junction, but it doesn't matter, it's there. Now let's look down here and see which way the train's coming. It's coming into this side, so we'll need to put more track in. I want a 2-way system. I want it to come in this way. I want it to come out that way. So let's get the line in. Drag that up here. It will follow the existing track, and the cost won't be massive because a lot of the building work's been done. So I'll put that into there. We've got to cross that road again, and let's come over. Should be no problem there. It doesn't want me to go in one pass. It does have a bit of a problem, so I've got to be very careful when I come over. That's fine. That's coming into there. And this doesn't need to be a continuous 2-way all the way to the oil well. It obviously needs to be 2-way until the upcoming train crosses the track and goes back into the goods station. First things first, let's bring in, and I think from this point, this track into this line to go down to the oil refinery. That's where we're going to get the fuel from. Let's come get a bit of a bird's eye view. It's a bit easier to do it when we're doing that. And let's bring the rail line out, bring it across here, get it to join, flick it over. Come on, it doesn't want to go, does it? Zoom in a bit so I can see what's going on here. Come over. Now you see, I'm not convinced that that's, when I did it earlier, that was joining up. I think that was too, that's a bad join, look. That's not going to work there. I've got to fiddle about slightly to get that to join up. So that's joined there. That's fine. Okay, not too sharp a bend. It's come across the road, and we've probably got a bit of a dip in there like we tend to get. Look, there's a dip there as before. What I'll do is I'll hack that out at some point. I'll get that level, but for the moment we'll live with that. Okay, now that train will come down, it will follow this one, but when it comes back up, it's going to have to cross the line to get back over here. So I'll just bring this one up. We know that's going to go past that junction because the train will have to have a crossover point before there. So we'll drop that in there, and then I'm now going to bring this back into this line so it can continue back up to the oil well. Now here we need a crossover to get before this point, so I'll bring the track down from here to the up line to there. Okay, That's fine. Now, how do we ensure this is going to be a two-way system, going down that way and going up this way? Well, the easiest way is to get signals in. Pick up the signal. That's a waypoint. We don't want that one. We want the signal point. So we definitely need a signal here. And you notice which side of the track it goes. It goes on this side of the track here, not this side. That come in the opposite direction. It needs to go here just before the junction. And over here, we need one just before that junction. Okay. Now, trains are following each other. We need to have more signals on the line. So I'm going to put another one there. I'm going to go down a bit further. And I'm going to put another one in here. Is there any sort of rationale behind the distance? Well, there isn't really. It's just to make sure that if there's a train coming along this track, it gets to that signal and then stops. If I had no other signals, it would actually stay there until the train was coming back up this side of the line, which isn't any good. We need to keep trains moving. So I'm going to put another one in just before the station, and I'm going to put it in around here. And I'm going to then put a crossover because I want the train to come out of the station and go back up the other way. So let's have a look. Let's get the line. Let's get the line tool, which is what I need there. Don't want the signal. I want the line tool. Bring it over, and we'll make the join to the other side. Okay. So in theory, the train will come down there, drop off its load, and then go back up that way. Now, we do need signals in place. We need to make sure that if there's a train in there, the downcoming train can stop. Now, I've already got a signal in there. That's probably okay. I think I'll leave that. And I'm now going to put another signal on this side, opposite this one, to keep, again, trains moving. We've got to keep them moving along the line. So I'll have one there. And let's have one opposite this. Well, we'll keep them close together because when we come in the future to upgrade those signals, it's handy not to be jumping all over the place to find out where the signals are. And there's another one there, but that's probably too close to that crossing. So I'm going to bring that up a further distance away from that level crossing, and we'll put it there. Now, that's not too bad. That's fairly handy for that junction. If I was using my intelligence a bit more wisely, I'd probably actually want to put that at that junction, which is what I'm going to do. I'll take that signal out and I'm going to bring that up to here. Okay, and so now we've got a signal for this one coming down this way, so it doesn't conflict with that junction. And we've got a signal there, so if there's a train coming down there, that one will stop. We've got to cross over the track. So I think we're okay to run that one. Let's get a line in place. You can see, look, it's going down that way and up that way. It's exactly what we need. Okay. So line manager, new line, and we're going to go from this station and we're going to go down to this one. Obviously, it's going to be transporting goods from the refinery up to Buckingham. And you can see, look, we've got the crossover there. So that's working. Drop that in there. And you can now see that the line is going now. What's happened here? That green one seems to be going down that one side only. We seem to have lost the green line. Now, why? What's happened there? Let's investigate and see what the problem is. The green one wants to cross over there. I don't want that to happen. That's not good news. It needs to be, he needs to come down this track and go down the right hand side. The green one's crossing over and that's no good to us. Okay, now I think the way to do that is to have a crossover down here. Let me take that one out for a second. I'm going to put a cross onto this line here, and I'm going to see if that affects the flow. The flow is important. We've got to get this flow right, otherwise trains will be sort of just stopping in the middle of nowhere because they can't get past each other. So there's the points there. Let's bring that over here, drop it down there, put it in there. Let's have a look at a line tool. And okay, we've got green and blue going down here. We've got green and blue going up there. So that's done the job. It's given us a crossover so the trains will come down one side and go back up the other one. Excellent. That's just what we need. Okay. Now what we need to do is to get a train into here. The only train depot we've got is up here, which means going into there and coming down here. So unfortunately, we're going to have to put a depot in down here. And given that we've got a crossover point here, it makes sense to put a depot around here somewhere and before that signal. Okay, let's get the depot in, and I'm going to put the depot down here. I'm going to put it as far as I can down here without conflicting with anything, because it needs quite a length of track to get the curve right. Let's put it in there, and we'll get the track in, and that should join up without any major problem. And it's joined up before that signal. The question is, do we put a signal in here? Well, I suppose to be pedantic, we ought to, because otherwise there will be some sort of conflict, which means another signal on this side. No, I'm not going to put a signal in. But this train will wait until there's nothing between there and its crossover point. Those other signals will do the job for us there. So I'm going to leave that. That should be no problem. Okay, so let's just check. We've got our routes in place. Now we need to buy the train. So buy train. You've only got one available. Buy that one, and we need to buy fuel tankers. 1, 2, 3. Can I buy any more? 182k. Well, we've only got 3 on the one coming down, so we'll leave it with the 3 going up. Okay, we bought those. We now need to set it onto a line, which will be the blue one, line 8, and we can now set the simulation rolling, and we should now see our new engine with the tankers coming up this depot. Here it comes. You can see the smoke coming out of the stack, and here's our little train with our 3 tankers on board. When we click on those, we can see they're going to be carrying fuel. So that's to do a couple of trips. We'll go to the town first. We'll go down the line to the refinery, which is down here. It's going to have a couple of trips before anything's produced. If we go and have a look, we can see there's no production yet. That's because there's no demand, basically. Once the oil starts going down from the oil well, and it knows there's demand from the town, it will start producing. So let's speed it up. Let's have a look and see what happens if we go hurtling along at the breakneck pace. We've got there's a train somewhere on that line. Is it coming down from the oil well? Where is it? I've lost the other one. I can't see any smoke. Is it coming up this way? Yeah, there he is. Look, I just see him in the distance. He's just coming up. So they'll cross over. I'm just passing now. And as you can see, the signals, if you look over here, this signal's not doing anything yet. As soon as the train approaches, that will go up. And it will go straight up to the oil well. That's great. That's working. That's working really well. So we're up and running. Now that's the fuel coming in. We need to do something about getting more food into the town. We've only got 49k. I need to buy more vehicles. We're up to 5 million. That's no problem. Let's borrow some more. And I need to get more vehicles to transport from the farm, because it's got quite a bit waiting, down to the food production plant, which is over on this side, over here. That's not producing anything at the moment because there's so little going in. There are some items waiting, but very low numbers. So once you start getting the volume in there, that will start producing. Okay, let's go to our terminal, and we'll right next to the terminal. That look, go into there, buy road vehicles. We need to buy, and I'm going to leave that to automatic. So we're going to go from the farm to the food production. I'm going to buy 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to buy 4. I'm going to go mad. And we're going to set those on the line, which is, I think, the blue line. Yes, it is. That's the blue one that goes down to the food processing plant. And they're now going to be racing out of there. That's fine. Now I need to buy more vehicles to serve the towns, Buckingham and Sandy. So first of all, buy 3, and I've left those. I should have actually changed them to food. I'll do that now. I'll do the one after the other, but next time I'll actually click on and select it before I start. So those are going to do food, and that line is going to be the red line, which is coming from the food processing plant. You can see that, look, into Buckingham. So we'll set that one, and we'll buy 3 more vehicles. We've still got enough left. 1, 2, 3. Once again, I completely forgot to change them to food, but not too difficult to change them afterwards. That's fine. Change them to food and set the line to the orange line that goes down to Sandy. So we've now got a fair amount of work going on here. Look at the line manager. Are we making any money? Well, the train's certainly making some money now. In Buckingham, which is the first line there, making a bit of money. We're making some money on the 1 stagecoach in Sandy. Now this one's not making anything yet. Early days. And of course, we're making a bit on the transportation of the crude oil, but nothing yet on the fuel. So that looks as though things are working. So I think for today, that's going to be enough. We've managed to get the oil going from one location to another. We've got the fuel coming back to Buckingham. We've now got more vehicles going from the farm to the food production plant. And we've now got vehicles going from the food production plant to Sandy and to Buckingham. So that's going to be it for today. Next time, we'll need to see how to make money. And we're not making a lot. We're taking out huge loans. Up here, you can see we've got a lot of oil waiting to be collected. That may mean putting another train on. And if we do that, we need to ensure that we've got sufficient demand from the town. So we may need to get another train on there as well. We'll look at that next time. Thanks again for joining me, and please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And of course, subscribe so you can see more and get notifications when more appear. But that's all for today. Thanks again, and goodbye for now.